Daha düşük.
Do we have one? Okay, so don't make this up, guys. All right. I'm telling you, I've been here before. All right. But so if people spend time somewhere, they start to care about the place. It's about building political will, right? If they care about the river, they might support legislation which cares about the river and the wet dogs and all that. So we got to fix this river. I told you they dug tunnels underneath the lake about water trips. Now the idea was if they collected the water 4 miles out in Lake Michigan, that'd be fresh clean water. They were wrong. Spring rains actually pushed pollutants that far out. People still got sick and died. They needed a new plan. The new plan was to dig a new canal. Already have that first one, the golden funnel behind him. This time though, they moved more earth digging than they did digging the Panama Canal. In fact, same guys working on both jobs. Learning how to do it here in Chicago in 1900. Same officers of the Army Corps of Engineers went to Panama in 1910 and supervised the work there. But the reason they're doing it, digging all the dirt, they're digging the new canal deeper and wider than the river. The water flows downhill. When they open the gates to the new canal in the south branch of the river starts flowing into that canal. The canal flows into the Des Plaines River, which flows to the Illinois, which flows to the Mississippi, which flows to the Gulf of Mexico. River starts flowing into the canal instead of into Lake Michigan. They reversed the flow of the Chicago River. They turned the whole river around. So now instead of flowing into Lake Michigan and polluting our drink supply, it flowed away from Lake Michigan. So Chicago's answer to its pollution problem: send it to St. Louis. Problem solved. St. Louis didn't like it. They sued us. We won, long story. But today, Chicago's cleaning its river, all kinds of big projects. In the end result, just a couple years back, the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, officially upgraded the rating of the river 1 whole grade. It went from toxic to polluted. No, that's better. There's a lot of things you can't do in a toxic river. Did you see the kayakers that are illegal in a toxic river? Polluted and kayak all you like. Fishing! Great, huge 3-eyed bass. It's really coming along. So it turns out, Harry Weiss, who did the river cottages, he wasn't crazy. He was ahead of his time. Why do we always do that? Thought we could have gone crazy? We've gone under a lot of bridges. We're going to go under a lot more. Chicago has more moving bridges, opening and closing, than any other city in the world. 54 of them. All the same kind. They're called the bascule trunnion style. Now, bascule is French for seesaw or teeter-totter. Trunnion referring to the pin or fulcrum of the seesaw. Tell you what, take a look at the bridges up BR King Street on the left here. Now, first of all, it's not broken. It's a railroad bridge. They've disconnected these tracks, not expecting a train in and out. But it shows us how they work. See the big chunk of concrete on the back of the yellow? Okay, bascule is French for seesaw, right? That big chunk of concrete, that's kind of like a fat kid. One in the seesaw, and the bridge street's getting big. So you got Hartman back there and Kyle Canyon Stanley over here, right? So it's counterweighted, counterbalanced. Takes very little energy, about 140 horsepower, very efficient. Well, let's get back to building. This beautiful curved sheet of glass off to our left is one of Chicago's all-time favorites. Built in 1983 by Cone, Pedersen, and Fox, it's the 333 West Wacker Drive building. Of the 2 hallmarks of postmodern design, I've mentioned one. You're looking back at that Chicago school or Sullivan-esque style with a base shaft capital. The other hallmark of postmodernism is it pays attention to the curve of glass is the curve. The color of glass is the color of the river. And that blade across the top divides the building half down the middle. This side's all curved like the river, the other side, all right angles like the city grid. Postmodernism paying attention to river. Hey, you guys like trivia? I got a fun one. We're about to pass through an unique point on the planet Earth, one of a kind, as far as anyone knows. Lake Street Bridge here in Chicago is the only place on the whole planet where all known forms of public transportation happen simultaneously. Underneath this bridge is a subway line. We're about the bridge has cars, buses, pedestrians, bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, and trains. And it's right on the flight line to O'Hare Airport. You got planes, trains, cars, buses, pedestrians, bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, boats, and subways, all in vertical slices. Go right here as far as anyone knows. Only place it happens. You know another one? Let me know. I'll change the story till then. That's it. Speaking of planes, though, the silvery building on the right is the Boeing headquarters. Sorry, Edmonds. Boeing moved here from Seattle, Washington back in 2001. They still build the planes around Seattle and near Edmonton, Everett and that, and also in Kent. But the bosses are here now, so they're Chicago-based. The building came earlier, though. It was built in 1990 by Perkins and Will as the Morton headquarters, Morton the Salt guys. Now you'll notice it's set back with open public parkland, benches and trees. Looks like a couple Boeing employees. But look left. Beyond the bridge, that's the old style. Back to the river. Yep, don't look. Old school, new school, new school, old school, old school, new school, new school, old school, old school. That's fantastic. Now, if those canals I've talked about kind of gave birth to the city, the rails raised every train, north, south, east, west, across this nation. Gotta get off the train in Chicago, change trains, because you get off that train, you're leaving money behind. Buy meals, some entertainment, spend the night, that money I'll build the city. So the city is laced with train tracks, especially along the river. What are you gonna do if you want to build gorgeous buildings where there's already tracks? You invest in what's called air rights, the right to build in the air above the tracks. You pay the railroad for their air. Chicago's first air rights building was built in 1929 by Hullabert and Root as the Daily News Building, now known as 2 North Riverside Plaza and on our right. We see again, soaring vertical piers, setbacks, contrasts of light and dark. That's art modern styling. Like Art Deco, which is on the left, the Civic Opera building. I'll come back to this building later. I do want you to notice its shape. See, it looks like a big chair. It's got a big flat seat, high back, high arms, like a big armchair. I'm going to talk about that later, okay? But on the right, more of a modern machine look, art modern. More importantly, though, can't believe